It will be the last UFC pay-per-view of 2024 this weekend. Hello, I'm JK. Today I'm joined with Red Wolf MMA. Yes, there's no Sai. He's out boxing in Dubai at the moment. There's no Ash. He's working late. So it's us two holding it down, giving you the absolute top breakdown that we can possibly. We got some fun and interactive things that we're going to go through this evening. Yes, my face looks like a balloon, but that's because I got a tooth taken out yesterday. Oh man, but look, still here. Commitment is next level.
There, man. Can't knock it there. Do you know what I mean? That's commitment and a half.
Oh, I mean,
but you don't do the McGregor. My face was a balloon.
My face is a balloon. My face was a balloon. So welcome on in, guys. Smash a like on the video if you've not done so already. And yeah, we wanted to bring you the show yesterday, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to be in pain after this extraction. Let's not do it. Let's hold it off for another day. And let's go when things settled. But unfortunately, you just have to put up with a swollen face, is all. But yeah, good to see you, Red Wolf. It's been a hot minute since you've been on the airwaves, but keeping well by the looks of things.
Yeah, doing my best, man. Doing my best. It has been a minute. I think we were just planning our next meeting not long ago. I'm coming down to London at some point next year, aren't I? So you came up to Manchester. I've got to come down there, I guess.
No, absolutely. I mean? Oh, yeah, can't wait to get in through the fight week stuff in London, man. It's going to be special. But tonight we're going to be talking about UFC 310, Pantoja versus Asakura. I have to say it properly. It's a little bit difficult with a swollen cheek, but hey, we'll get
usually me that messes the names up, so that's me.
Oh, I mean, hopefully you guys can see. I'll pop up some stats up there. I mean, obviously the stats for Asakura are going to be non-existent. Anyway, I mean, we're going to start off, actually, well, we're going the wrong way around. Start off with the first fight of the night, or of the weekend, should I say, between Nate Landwehr and Choi. Now, I mean, some fights on this main card, I think you could probably argue would be prelim fights, right? And there's been a lot of conversation with people online about whether or not Evie versus Sterling should have been on the main card instead. Where does your opinion lie at the moment with this whole ideal? Do you think this fight belongs on the main card?
It's so I think it could be a banger. I think it could be one of them ones that's flying under the radar that we're kind of thinking, you know, what's that doing on the main? But then it surprises us on the night, and we end up with like maybe a fight of the night contender. Do you know what I mean? Like Nate and Choi, like when they fight for the life type of thing. My main memory of Choi is the Cub Swanson fight.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, amazing fight of the year, just one of the best fights of all time. So when he comes to swing, he swings, and Nate just doesn't back down from a heavy fight either. No. So I think in names term, a lot of casuals won't maybe know much about Nate and Choi, and they'll know Sterling and Evilov. So, but either way, yeah, I mean, it's a kind of a bit, you know, Sterling is a former champion and he kind of deserves a main card slot. So it's a bit weird. It is a bit weird to say the least, but we'll see how it goes. I've noticed the UFC kind of started doing this now, where they won't put the biggest names on the main.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, as I was saying in one of our videos in the week, like I felt like it was down to what's going to put bums in seats type of thing, or what people are going to get up for when the fight actually happens on paper, name value wise, whereabouts, whether they're in the rankings or not, it's going to be about who brings it, you know, proper. Yeah. But looking at Choi then, heading into this, now he's looked like a mature fighter since returning to competition last year, and a draw against Kyle Nelson, a TKO win against Bill Algeo. The UFC brass knew what they were doing when they put this fight together, and that's the reason why it's on the main card. We've seen glimpses of his grappling in those last two fights, though. Would you say this is a fight where he can out-grapple and possibly submit Nate Landwehr, perhaps. I mean, we're talking about it being a potential fight of the night earner when you look at the two side by side. But if you judge by last two performances, I mean, Choi's fights has been entertaining, but is it still gonna?
Yeah. He's improved his MMA game. So, like, you know what I mean? The grappling's definitely got better. But Nate's a good grappler as well. So I've said it could be a fight of the night, but then I don't want to stale themselves out by grappling. Do you know what I mean? Where they kind of just don't throw down. I don't know whether I'd choose submission win for Choi. I think if anything, we're gonna see, or I prefer to see a slugfest. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I reckon Landwehr might have the advantage on the ground if it does go there.
Okay.
Slightly. But yeah, it's a weird one.
Yeah, I can see. I think the UFC think it's going to be a stand up and bang type of fight, but yeah, I just for some reason feel like perhaps Choi might be the one to initiate first. As for Landwehr across the octagon from Choi, the Ige fight was a true test for him against a ranked caliber fighter. He bounced back though against Jamal Emmers last time out by overcoming adversity in that fight. Do you think he's got what it takes to defeat the Korean Superboy and then get a second crack at a ranked featherweight?
I've got to admit, this is one of the toughest fights for me to choose on the card. Is because it feels like both are evenly matched, and I think both have got a lot to prove. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think Nate knows that as well. So Nate will be trying his hardest. If he does get through Choi, then yeah, absolutely, he deserves a crack at the rankings again. The thing with this is a featherweight fight. It's the featherweight division is so stacked at the minute, even below the 50, the top 15, that it's just so difficult to try and match up who we could match up with. Do you know what I mean? But I think, yeah, if he gets through Choi, then yeah, he absolutely deserves a ranked fight. But then same with Choi. If Choi beats Nate, does he start going up there a bit?
Yeah.
So I noticed. Don't know if you saw it. Choi was actually sparring with Piera a couple of weeks back, and he looked good. Obviously, when you're fighting Piera though, and you're down here and he's up here, like he's going to make anyone look small. But he looked fast. He looked, and he was going for it. He wasn't shy from throwing a good strike against Alex. So I reckon he's got a lot to prove as well. So that's why I'm thinking maybe that's why it is on the main card. Maybe Dana knows something we don't, and both of these boys really go at it. Good card opener.
I mean, you think it's 2 fights ago, Choi fought Carl Nelson. Carl Nelson, I think, recently got a crack at a ranked opponent as well.
Yeah.
So, and, Landwehr's kind of been one of these guys who've just sitting outside of the ranking. So, yeah, perhaps Choi would be in line for someone next. I mean, looking beyond Landwehr, of course. Welcome on in. Oh, whoops. Hang on. There we go. Get me sources back. George Mary's in the house. He says, good evening, JK and Mr. Red. For some reason on the overlays, Size missed out Wolf because he calls you Red.
I'm just Red. That'll do.
What are you doing, bro?
he does that. I'm sure he's done that on purpose. I'll get him for that one.
Yeah. But George says, how are we need to luck of the Irish this week with the bad luck I've had at work this week? Oh, mate, have you been getting more bad work? Ooh, he says, but mama didn't raise no bitch. I'm the buffest, roughest, tough mother, what? And I look pretty damn good too. Think I got a job after that. JK, guess who I want to win? You going for Landwehr?
Gotta be on it. Gotta be.
George is having a
You know what I like
right
about
day.
Landwehr? He's got a massive. He's actually got a massive fan following. I posted something about him the other day. You know when he
Really?
did that stare, where he's in the suit and he's staring. Like
Yeah,
he's got a massive following,
off
and
of
a
that.
lot of fans. He's a big fan favorite. Is Landwehr made the train?
I feel like he doesn't run his mouth like Colby, but there's something about this like all American type
Yeah,
character
yeah,
about him, which is like a nicer version of Colby.
yeah, yeah. I mean, even recently, he kind of politely shot down a journalist the other day who mistakenly said that Japan and Korea are very similar countries. I don't know if you
Yeah,
saw that,
I
but
saw that. I was like, bro, come on. How can you? Come on. How are we
that's
having these
just
type of
like,
journalists in the house? Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. I mean, don't get me started on some journalists, but yeah,
Like, you
no,
you honestly think that the Koreans are going to root for the Japanese? Aren't they like? Don't they like subtly throw bombs their way just to like,
well,
scare
yeah,
them?
they don't have the best history from what I've read. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they don't get on very well. So, like,
Come on,
you
bro.
know,
Do you know what I mean? George says, lost my van key whilst digging over an acre of land. No luck finding that. Oh, mate, you had your van broken into the other week. Last show we were chatting together, and now you lost your key. That's not. But that can get easily sorted. You know, a mate of mine on the way back from Glastonbury. Side note from the show, of course. Realised that he gave his bag to our mate to take back the night before, and didn't realise that he left his car key in that bag. So we were stuck at Glastonbury. But luckily, our the RAC guys were on site anyway, and they just moulded a new key and job done. 200 quid, blimey, mate. Oh, that's shocking. Shocking. Let's cheer George up, guys. Let's cheer
I'll
George
try and
up in the
cheer him
hat.
up, but that key is buried in the ground now. Someone's going to dig that up in a couple of years.
Oh, looking at significant strikes overall, landed per minute in favour of Nate Landwehr. Absorbed per minute, though, also in favour of him. So you can tell who's the bigger brawler out of these two. Takedown defense, 86% for Landwehr, though, as we're talking about grappling as well. Grappling. But we're going to get into the juicy things. Smash a like on the video, guys, are just joining in. I see you guys. Hit the subscribe button as well if you're new to the channel. We got Red Wolf in the house, breaking things down with you. And we're all going to be discussing who has the upper hand in this fight between the striking, grappling, power, speed, and cardio. Let's read some chats out before we get into that. Maybe perhaps Red Wolf can have a bit of a think of who he's siding for on for this one, because it's going to be a difficult one for sure. Welcome on in C, who says, evening gents. Apologies if you have already answered this, but thoughts on the UFC 311 announcement? Do you know what we haven't got there, actually? We haven't. On a side note, Moicano Dariush getting announced. We talked about this off air a little bit. I think it's a great addition to the fight, 100%. I think that this also opens the door up for a potential fight, which I think between Paddy Pimblett and Rafael Fiziev, as Fiziev is yet to be booked as well. He's back in training. We know that. Now that we've got the all clear that Dariush and Moicano will be fighting instead of Moicano versus Paddy Pimblett, my opinion is that we're going to get Paddy Pimblett versus Rafael Fiziev, perhaps in London, or it'll be on a pay-per-view. Red Wolf, I don't think, has a much comment to say about that.
I'm just listening.
But no, that card is going to be fun nonetheless. Welcome on in, C, to that lovely question of yours. Matt W's in the house, who says, what's good, boys? Last pay-per-view, I had locks of the decade, McGee, Charles, and Jones. Now I'm on Pantoja, Shavkat, Gorimbo, Parlay. Awesome stuff. Wow. Yeah, I like those options. I mean, we're going to get to some predictions in a sec for some of these fights. Maybe perhaps this fight is a little bit too close to call to add to your parlays, but be good to know who you're going for anyway with this one. George Murray says Islam and Umar bringing the belts home 311. John, I actually love the fact that both of these fights are on at the same card.
Yeah.
Personally, I
Yeah.
felt Merab versus Umar could have been a headliner anyway.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Like
100%.
that is a fight I'm most looking forward to see. I mean, both fights, co-main and main, are going to be Grappa's delight. I mean,
Yeah, I was
it's
just
going to be
gonna
so
say,
good.
like, if the casuals that shout "stand them up," they're not gonna like this card. I
No,
can guarantee. Do you know what I mean? But if you appreciate proper MMA and you appreciate the grappling and the jiu-jitsu, like you're gonna love it. You know what I mean? I think Merab and Umar as well. I think that's those two could swing. Like Umar's striking is actually pretty good.
yeah, no, it
Um,
is.
so I mean, look at the Sandhagen fight. He mixed it up so well. Mixed up the striking with the takedowns, then the grappling, then back up, then striking again. It was a brilliant fight. Brilliant, very underrated fight. That's one that people should rewatch before Merab.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to get into that when it comes around. Fingers crossed, touch wood, everywhere that this stays on the card and doesn't fall through.
Yeah, no pullouts, no pullouts. You know what I mean?
Done with them. We're done with pullouts. Pullout season should not be in January.
That's
George
what
says
she said.
311 looking tasty. Who Paddy going to fight now? Just cleared that up for real quick. Matt W says Moicano went from 0 TKO wins to 3 in a row, potentially championship. Yeah, man, he's looked decent, and I think Dariush is such a solid fight for him. I think to get a win under his belt. Dariush back into his career a little bit. It's gonna be hard to see, man. George said realistically, I thought they would have Umar and Merab for 312. Who's going to headline it? Well, I mean, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. They could easily change their mind and shift things around. No doubt if things don't line up nicely and they don't get the headliners that they want for 312. All right, so heading back on to 310 then. Nate Landwehr versus Doo-Ho Choi. Striking wise, who are you going for?
Striking.
Yeah, what do you think?
It's hard because, well, I think so Choi's got the speed it's the speed of the striking. I've noticed that.
Okay.
That he's very, very quick, very in and out. But Nate, I think's heavier. He's got the
Nate's
power.
heavier. Okay, so speed for Choi.
Yeah.
Power then for Nate. That's fair.
Oh, have I answered other questions? I have answered.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But then if you come down to overall striking ability,
I might have to slightly go with Choi.
Let's go with Choi.
He seems slightly more
He's quite fluid, isn't he, with his strikes?
Yeah, more crisp.
Nate's a bit more tighter, I feel.
He's the brawler kind of, he's got the brawl, the overruns, whereas Choi's very in and out. Do you know what I mean? He's very methodical with it.
Bit more technical indeed. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember all these buttons, to be honest. There we go. I've got for all the things. So we're going striking for Choi, and then grappling wise, you were saying earlier that Nate Landwehr you felt might have the upper hand.
And I'm talking slight. You know what I mean? Because Choi is improving. Choi's grappling has improved a lot. But again,
Landwehr might have better wrestling.
Maybe slightly.
Perhaps. Yeah.
Nate's got better anti-grappling.
Oh, okay, yeah. Defensive grappling for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Nate's only been submitted once in his MMA career. That was way back on the regional circuit in 2015. Doo-Ho Choi, on the other hand, has yet to be submitted as a professional, but has one submission win on his resume, and that was his first ever fight. So, yeah. I mean, we say that
it's tough.
It is. We say that this fight could very well be a stand and bang type of fight, but as improvements are going on, Choi might be inclined to take it to the ground.
I think if Choi keeps getting pieced up or getting hit with some heavy shots, he's gonna shoot for the legs. He's gonna clinch and try and go for the trips and stuff like that. So, but again, like you say, Nate's takedown defense is pretty good. You know what I mean? So I'm very interested. The more we talk about this fight, the more interest I'm in for it. I was interested anyway, but now really thinking this could be, you know what I mean, anyone's game.
You properly look into it. That's what comes about. Last one then to to decide things cardio wise, who are you going cardio with? Part of me wants to say Choi for that. I know Nate the Train can
kind of with you on that one.
dig deep. It's a close one.
Nate's big, and I think he sweats buckets in every fight. If you remember, like he's just dripping. Whereas Choi, not really. Like you say, Choi went life or death with Cub Swanson, and he was done by the end of it. But that was one hell of a fight anyway. So I'm gonna slightly go with Choi on that one with cardio.
Okay. So we've got 3 in favour for Choi, that being striking speed and cardio, and 2 in favour for Nate Landwehr, that being grappling and power. C agreeing with Choi, 100% cardio there. But who are you going to go for on the night, though?
I don't know. I think this is going to be one of them where I'm going to enjoy the fight. You know what I mean? I think maybe, though, if I'm going to pick anything, I don't think it goes a distance.
Oh, really?
Oh,
you think there's going to be a finish?
I think there might be a finish. Either side.
I see you going with Choi round 2 TKO. I feel I wouldn't be mad if it's a Landwehr decision. If anything.
Yeah, I mean, if you can grind it out, but I don't know. I can see both of these boys knocking each other out. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know.
George Mary going Nate decision as well. Yeah, it's such a tough one to call, and even the next one we're going to talk about is a tough one as well.
That's what I'm saying, man. This card is very, very underrated, and this is just the main card we're talking about. The prelims are stacked as well.
Yes. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm going Nate decision. You think Choi's going to get the finish, perhaps?
I ain't putting money on it. Like, I'm not. I'm not risking it.
No, me neither, man. Okay, that basically is a wrap. Let's move on then to the second fight of the main card between Bryce Mitchell and Kron Gracie back in the house. We'll add some grappling stats up there for you guys to check out whilst we talk about these individuals now. Now, so we'll start with Mitchell then for this one. How many of Bryce Mitchell's fights in the past would you say, I think he can take this one on the feet? Has there been any at all? You look at Josh Emmett, even Edson Barbosa.
No, see, that's the thing. He does mostly fight strikers. So this could be the first proper jiu-jitsu specialist that he's fought. So is it? Has there been another one? Or well, I don't know. But like you say, fighting Barbosa, fighting Emmett, I didn't think that if he was going to win them fights, I didn't think he was going to do it standing up. No. I mean, I didn't expect Emmett to nearly decapitate the poor guy.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? I mean, he already thought the earth was flat. That just didn't make things any better, did it? You know what I mean? But I love Emmett. I'm just taking the piss. I love Emmett. Not Emmett, Mitchell. I do like him as well, but you know what I mean? But no, I don't think his striking is like, elite. Do you know what I mean? But neither's Kron's, if you know what I'm saying.
No. So I mean, talking about Kron then. Sorry.
I was just going to say, this should be, like I say, a grappler's dream matchup, and hopefully not a really sloppy stand-up war.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there has been occasions in the past where two grapplers will just kind of have a respect for each of their abilities and go, right, okay, I can probably take this on the feet, and then it's not great at all. I mean,
Usman versus Colby was like that. Both great wrestlers, but they stood up. Do you know what I mean? And that was good. It was decent. But like you said, there's some that haven't got them striking skills.
Yeah, and as for Kron, then now I can't lie, his performance against Charles Jourdain wasn't great. His attitude around fight week wasn't great either. And a matchup that shouldn't really have happened, in my opinion. I mean, I haven't seen Embedded at all this week. I'm yet to catch up on that, so I've not really seen what he's been like there. But I remember the last Embedded he was on, he just wasn't respecting anyone. He didn't really want to be there almost, and I think that kind of fed into his performance a little bit. And I think my whole perception of him as a fighter during that fight. But he now has the opportunity, I think, to redeem himself and take out a ranked guy. Would you say a win for Gracie could breathe some more life into the featherweight division at the moment? Because, when you look at guys in and around the top there, Topuria probably hasn't got that many who could probably give him a real test. And, of course, Max has been holding down the division for quite some time. He was able to fend off the likes of Arnold Allen, etc., etc. Yes, we're going to get Sterling and Evloev the same night, and potentially one of those could very well be next in line for Topuria. But in terms of overall competition, what do you think about Kron Gracie getting into the rankings?
I mean, I've said featherweight at the minute is one of the most stacked divisions. There's just so many potential matchups, so many big names, so many names that are coming up as well. But like you say, I haven't watched any Embedded yet either. And funnily enough, even on the socials, I've really not seen much from Kron. I've seen a lot from Mitchell. He was on Bisbing's podcast, I think yesterday or the day before. I've seen him doing interviews. I've seen him doing chats and that, but I've not really seen much from Kron. So it could, if he was to get in the rankings, could breathe a bit of fresh air. But it's one of them, like you say. Does he want to? Do you know what I mean? Has he got drive? Has he got that ambition to keep going and go to the top? Because we could have someone in the rankings that doesn't fight for another year, or there's a spot there that should be taken by somebody else or whatever. I mean, you got Nathaniel Wood trying to get in the rankings now.
Yeah.
So Nathaniel versus Kron, if he does get in, that could be a good one. But yeah, I mean, it could mix things up. But like I say, the featherweights, there's a lot going on at the minute. I mean, I know there was talk with Ilya wanting to move up straight away to fight Islam, and it's like come on, man, there's so many contenders at featherweight. You've got Lopez, you've got the winner of Sterling, Evloev, you've got maybe the Volk rematch. You've got Arnold Allen. I think depending on how his next fight goes, he could be looking at a title shot soon. So there's so much potential in 145.
Yeah, especially at the top. But I mean, when I look at this division, you got your Lopez's. Everyone's excited to see Lopez and see him get a crack. Whether or not he is the next one in line, we don't know yet, because there was also talks of him potentially fighting Volk for that opportunity. And if he loses to Volk, then that's another contender falling down in the pecking order a little bit. But when I look at the division at the moment, when I see the likes of your Brian Ortega's, your Josh Emmett's, your Calvin Cater's in there, Giga Jakarte's, who's kind of had a lot of injuries as of late, hasn't been as active as a lot of other fighters, and perhaps there is some gaps in there that can be filled by more active fighters. And of course, Kron is not exactly an active fighter in himself, really, is he either? He's only just recently come back onto the scene after several years hiatus, but this could be an opportunity where we could see more of him, perhaps, if he gets a finish against Bryce Mitchell. I mean, that's where I sat. Yeah,
no, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. And I think as well, if a Bryce win comes up, he's defended his number, and then there's a lot more opportunities for him. A lot more matchups for him that could be quite interesting. And again, like I said before, Bryce is he's got the fans. There's a lot of people that really. I mean, I love Mitchell. I love him. Like whenever he and Bisbing are working on the pod, I nearly swore. It's hilarious. Do you know what I mean? But it is. It's absolutely hilarious. And he's got the fans behind him, definitely. I haven't really met anyone that don't really hates Mitchell. Do you know what I mean?
I still don't know if he's genuine or not. It's kind of weird, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think he genuinely thinks the Earth is flat. Do you know what I mean? But
I know he's been running that narrative for quite some time now, and I'm like, Sure, he's gonna crack at some point. He's like, he generally
I
does.
think he genuinely believes it. And the bad thing is, I know plenty of people like Bryce Mitchell. Trust me,
Mm.
they believe it.
Mm. I
You
guess
know what I mean?
I'm just not really exposed to that many of those people. C says Mitchell decision, but some high level grappling for both. Matt W says Brady versus Burns was a striking match. That is true. That's another one that was different there. Two grapplers as well. George Murray saying, is Aljo on prelims a disrespect from the UFC or just favors the current main card to give people exposure? It's an interesting topic, really. I mean, it is a bit of disrespect. I don't know if there is some fallout between Aljo and the UFC, perhaps. And Avoyev isn't exactly the most exciting fighter, yet he's undefeated and a potential contender, really, at featherweight.
Voylev recently said it was Sterling's fault that they were on the prelims, and a lot of people kind of said you're the one with no finishes. So it's one of them. I think maybe there is a bit of something going on with Sterling and the UFC. Like I say, he's a former champ. Like, whether you liked him as a champ or not, he was a champion. So yeah, I mean, like I say, I kind of feel like he should have been on the main card.
I felt like it should have replaced this fight here because this is a grappler's delight. That's going to be a grappler's delight. Apart from, Evoev has got some pretty slick boxing, I can't lie. And, surely, man, come on. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're thinking.
The new UFC model, I think it has something to do with the ESPN as well, like deal, because the ESPN channel has the prelims, I think, or something like that. So they're trying to get people to watch that and then stay into the main card type of thing. I understand it from a business perspective. From a fan perspective, it's totally different.
Yeah, no, I agree. Okay, let's head into the gauge then. We were touching upon striking a second ago. Would you say that you're going to stick Bryce in for striking?
It's not saying much, but yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think he can land some good shots on the feet against Kron. To be honest, Kron's a little bit static and is
I like Kron. Look, he's got the Gracie name, and I've got a lot of time and respect for the Gracies. But Kron, like, I think they call him a butt scoocher. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's not a lot of striking. I know Gracie's had like major good striking. You know what I mean? Amazing grappling, amazing jiu-jitsu, like elite, world class, like couldn't be beat. But striking, no. Like, you know what I mean? It's just not something that they're known for.
Yes, well, salute, brother. I still got to catch up with your preview at some point, but good to see you in the chats, brother. Smash a like on the video and let us know who you're signing with in the grappling department between these two gentlemen, Bryce Mitchell and Kron Gracie. Now, grappling is the hardest one to go off of. You've got the Gracie draw. Wow. Yeah, I mean, for me, is when I look at Kron Gracie, I look at like, okay, what submissions is he able to pull off? Most of them,
you've got the traditionals, haven't you? You know, you've got your traditionals, your RNCs, your arm bars, your triangles, maybe a few, maybe an omoplata, maybe. But with Mitchell, he's got the second. Is it the second or the third twister in UFC history?
He has, I think, yeah, and he's also got wrestling added to his game as well, and I think that's a little bit of a key factor here in this fight. Now, you look at Kron Gracie's Wikipedia. Most of his submission finishes in MMA have all been rear naked chokes, triangle chokes. His grappling record, though, quite diverse, I must admit. He's got a couple of arm bars in there, some gillies. He's beaten some top dudes and dudes that people will know of. Garry Tonin being a name to throw out there. Beneil Dariush, referee decision, mind you, 2012, some time ago. There's just some names that... he did lose to Gilbert Burns, though. There's just a few names that most people would have been familiar with. Sergio Moraes also fought in the UFC as well, I believe. So, yeah, in terms of grappling, where's your head at the moment?
I think if you're gonna go for I've kind of got to respect the Gracie name. You know what I mean? And like I say, Kron's done a shed load of grappling tournaments and stuff like that. But I mean, Mitchell's done a few, but probably not as many as Gracie. So I'm slightly gonna go with Gracie, but that might just be name value. To be honest, I think Mitchell's grappling is pretty fucking good. Do you know what I'm saying?
I can see Mitchell. Mitchell's got that farm strength as well at the same time,
Yeah,
isn't he? And
yeah.
I think him top position, I think in the right areas of the cage could be quite key.
Yeah.
And
now, am I
think,
saying that Mitchell could submit Gracie? I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? It's one of them.
No.
It's one of them. You know what I'm saying? But could Gracie submit Mitchell? Yeah, kind of. You know what I'm saying? So,
one of my notes for this weekend's watch along, actually, which I'm going to reveal to you guys in the chats already, is the way that Mitchell needs to be effective in this fight on the ground is when he gets takedown against the cage and uses the cage to his advantage, because this way it prevents Kron from getting any space, from shifting the momentum and getting any sweeps or attacking submissions off of his back. If Mitchell is able to pin him there, use a lot of effective strikes, make him work out of those kind of positions, slowly the cardio will chip away and then Kron will be less effective as the fight goes on, securing any kind of these submissions. So I think that's going to be quite key for Mitchell in this fight.
Yeah. I'm going to add as well, throwing quite a fair bit of ground and pound, because I don't think Kron likes getting hit. You know what I'm saying?
No, and I think it was the famous Renzo Gracie who said, look, when you add strikes into jiu-jitsu, a black belt can suddenly become a brown belt. Brown belt can suddenly become a purple belt, and so on. You know, so, no, for sure. But yeah, overall, grappling-wise, who's going to be more of a, I guess, a submission threat would be Kron Gracie.
Yeah.
And
so I'm going to agree with that. Yeah.
Okay. Power then.
Power. I'm going to go with Mitchell, like you said. You mentioned that strength, and again, not just with the squeezes and the submission threats and the grappling, but even power striking. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, he's not got a lot of power in his strikes, but he's got more power than Kron Gracie. Yeah. So I'm definitely going with Mitchell on that one.
For sure.
That was an easy one.
That was actually speed though, not as easy.
Speed. Yeah, they seem well. Yeah, I mean, if you're talking speed striking, I'd go with Mitchell. If you're talking speed grappling, I'm gonna go with maybe Gracie.
Ooh.
You see what I'm saying?
Throwing in the hat there.
So that's just made it harder for me, that one now.
It has, isn't it?
It has a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'd probably again maybe go with Mitchell on that one.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, speed to Mitchell. Cardio though.
I have to go with Mitchell again on that one.
Mitchell again. Oof. There we go. Fourth in favour with Mitchell. Striking power, speed and cardio, with the one grappling advantage going to Kron Gracie.
Makes it sound very dominant, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? But I don't think it's going to be that dominant.
No. What's your overall prediction saying at the moment then for this fight?
My heart's actually saying Mitchell decision.
Yeah, ditto. I'm feeling the same as well.
Yeah. I think he's going to utilise the striking, like you say. He's going to utilise the against the fence, shout out, grappling, and the ground and pound. And I think just try and wear Kron out and just do whatever he can to avoid getting caught in a, like you say, a gilly, a triangle, something like that. He's got to watch that. Just survive, yeah, basically, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm all for you with you on that one. All right, okay, that wraps it all there. Get your predictions in the chats as well, guys. Lovely stuff from Red Wolf MMA thus far in tonight's breakdown show. Let's move on then. Let's clear this. Bosh.
And I can't wait for, if Mitchell does win, I can't wait for his post-fight speech. That's something that I really look forward to with Mitchell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If they give him
Wait,
long enough on the mic.
I don't know if Bisping's doing this event. He probably isn't, but
No.
it'd be funny.
It would, to be fair. I think it's DC, Rogan, and Anik.
Yeah, it
Really
usually
goes for
is.
this
It's
one.
the last pay-per-view. You've got to do the holy trio, haven't they?
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. All right, we're looking at the third fight on the main card between the rematch between Ciryl Gane and Alexander Volkov. Got some striking stats for you guys to check out here. Let's start off by talking about Ciryl Gane then for a minute. Now, he won every single round last time out when these guys fought. Do you think his confidence will be sky high coming into this, and perhaps he might overlook Volkov, or will he stay level-headed and we'll see a different wrinkle in his game for this one? Where do you think?
I think Gane's confidence is through the roof anyway. I think he's got a big old head. Do you know what I mean? I like Gane, but I think like you say, he's already got this in the bag. I don't think he's had any rematches in his career that I'm aware of. I might be wrong, but I don't think he has. So he's probably going to be thinking, I've beat this guy before. This is just a stepping stone, a little warm up fight because I've been out the cage for a bit, and then I go on to the next one, whatever that is. But I do think he's overlooking Volkov. Volkov has really improved, and I think Volkov's very underrated in the heavyweight division.
No, I'm
very underrated. You never really hear anyone mention his name, but you look at his past few fights and you think, fucking hell, this guy's, it's getting better and better. I mean, even Sam Aspinall was saying they might end up meeting again in the future, the way things are going. So yeah, I think Gane might be overlooking Volkov a lot.
Yeah, I feel like he might be as well. I mean, when you look at Volkov then from his perspective and you look at Gane's been kind of making movies and raking in the publicity that he's been receiving over in France, whilst Volkov's just been grinding away in the gym, and do you see opportunity? Sorry?
And getting his hair done.
Getting his hair done, yeah. I mean, all of the gimmicks that he's been doing are quite funny, I must admit. But I do think that that he's in a bit of a more of a level-headed sort of stage. But do you see opportunities for Volkov to kind of get the upset this time around? We didn't see many holes in Gane's game the last time they fought. But as you said, Volkov has been improving as well. And George Merry says, I can see Volkov getting revenge here. Matt W saying Gane only loses championship fights. It's a tough call to make, though. Absolutely. Where do you side on?
I wouldn't be surprised if Volkov gets the upset. I wouldn't be, because, like I say, he's improved drastically. And I think one thing with Volkov is, like I say, yeah, he's doing all the gimmicks and that. But I think maybe he might learn. He'll be rewatching that fight back like 1,000 times a night. Just looking at where he went wrong and what he could have done to improve. Or I'd like to hope he is. You know what I mean? So I really wouldn't be surprised. It would shock a lot of people, because I think people are expecting, like I say, Gane's he's probably the next in line for a title shot. Less said about that, the better, because we don't know what's happening with the title at the minute.
No, we don't.
But don't get me started on that. But Volkov may use the weakness of Gane, which is his grappling.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling that Volkov needs to do. I mean, first off, I think that Volkov needs to not get gun shy, because I mean it's easier said than done, right? But when you look at their last fight, there were moments where he perhaps was a little bit gun shy, wasn't throwing as much output, and that may have been because of the movement of Gane and the misdirection that he does a lot in his game. Volkov, man, when he submitted Tai Tuivasa, I was like, bro's got grappling, and he received his black belt as well. So for sure, you've got to take advantage of those fights that Gane had where he's not looked great in that area at all. That being the Francis Ngannou fight, which Ngannou, not known for his grappling at all, took advantage of that when he was injured. John Jones fight. John Jones fight for me was a little bit different. I felt that John's aura had Gane beat before he even stepped into the cage.
Yeah, I think you might be right there. You know what I mean? Like when you're facing off against like John Jones, I don't care who you are, you're gonna feel that's John Jones. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? And we didn't really see much of Gane's skills in that fight. We didn't have time to. Do you know what I mean? He was took down and submitted within a couple of minutes. So yeah, with Volkov, he's got the black belt. He's started mixing the martial arts now. I've noticed, like you say, he was more of a striker. He's now mixing the grappling, the jiu-jitsu. So I think he could. If he's going to get the upset, it could be via submission. You know what I mean?
Oof, man, imagine that. So as in the house says, let's go, boys. Content strong. Yes, buddy. Hope you're enjoying Dubai. It must be quite late where you are at the moment. Matt W saying, I've been saying Gane could beat Aspinall, so can't doubt him here. Wow. I mean, stylistically, there's... Wow. I think it's possible if you keep it a stand-up affair, but, you know, we got to see more grappling defense from Gane, I think, before we can rule that as a close fight.
Gane's striking is beautiful. When he gets going... And he finds that flow. Apart from the back of the heads, he does that a lot. But even that, it's just crisp. It's beautiful. It's a thing to watch. But it's when he finds that kill shot. The best one is to see it is the Tuivasa fight. He got dropped by Tuivasa, and then he just found the kill switch, and he went into that flow state, and it was perfect. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, Gane's striking is elite, but I don't really see, or I haven't heard anything or saw anything where he's improved his grappling. I'm sure he has been training his grappling. Do you know what I mean? I'd be surprised if he hasn't, but it takes years to get to the elite kind of grappling stage that people like Tom Aspinall are at, who've been doing it since they were like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure, you're right there. And Sai says, Gane's time for redemption is now. Yeah, I mean, of course he's been winning as of late. You know, we've not seen him in the octagon for a little while, since September 2023, when he TKO'd Sergey Spivak. So he's had some time out. Let's hope that time is been used effectively. Really, I mean, like we said, he's been doing movies and all that as well, and that's probably the reason why he was unable to fight Tom Aspinall back when Aspinall fought Pavlovich, I think, right?
No, so originally Aspinall versus Gane was supposed to be at 3 or 4.
3 or 4
for the interim title, but he went and filmed it.
No, that's right. Yeah.
I think it's that new series, you know, The Cage.
Yes, on Netflix. That's right. I need to check that out.
I think it was that. So I need to give that a watch. But yeah, I mean, I know recently he said that Aspinall ducked him, and that's not true.
No. Aspinall's just returning the favor because
pretty much
Gane wouldn't give him the shot.
Exactly. You know? There's interviews out there where Gane was like, "Oh, he's lower level. I don't want to fight him." Aspinall gets the title shot at the interim title, and he's like, "Yeah, I want to fight him now." And it's like,
funny how quick things.
I genuinely think they will meet in the future.
Yeah, 100%.
If Gane beats Volkov, of course.
Yeah,
but either way, sure. I think, yeah.
See, he says Volkov won't have time to show his grappling against Gane. Wow, he reckons it's going to be potential quick outing for Gane then, perhaps. So he says, like and subscribe, everyone. Get your fight pick information right here. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, then let's head into the gauge then, shall we? For these two, let's pop the fight back up. Striking wise, I mean, it's fair to say we've got to go with Gane with that, judging from the last fight, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where he did pick him apart for all 5 rounds and won every single round comfortably. Grappling wise, we was talking about pretty much Volkov, black belt. He's been working on it quite a bit, and defense has been lacking for Gane in previous fights. Power though,
I'm probably going to say Gane there.
Yeah, me too. I'd say so.
If Volkov would have knocked out Pavlovich, then there's an argument to be made there.
True.
For Volk's power, but no, I think Gane's very rarely gone to a decision, and he's, like I said, his striking is beautiful. When he gets that knockout, when he hits the kill switch, it is something to behold.
I mean, he's finished big heavyweights in
big guys,
Bivak, Tuivasa, Derek Lewis, and then he's gone the distance against the more technical strikers, your Jerzy, your Rozenstruiks, and your Alexander Volkov, of course, back in 2021. Speed, though, I mean, speed's a bit of an obvious one for me. I think it's got to be for Gane as well. Yeah. He's so quick on the feet, in and out. His distance management is great at that as well.
Yeah, when he gets that bouncing, like I say, he gets that bounciness, and he's in, he's out. It's 100%. But what I think, Volkov would have the advantage in the grappling speed, the shooting, the takedowns, the clinching. And again, Gane's clinching is pretty good as well. But yeah, speed overall is 100% Gane. Yeah.
Okay. Cardio then. Tough one.
Ooh. That's interesting, that one.
Yeah, it really is.
There's a part of me thinking about Volkov, because he's gone to the decision quite a few times.
Yeah.
A lot more than Gane, but Gane's early. He hasn't had as many fights as Volkov. I can't remember the last time we saw Volkov absolutely knackered.
No, I can't really remember it too much either, really. I mean, he took...
I'm gonna say Volkov at the cardio because of the experience. The more 5-round fights, the more distance, stuff like that. Whereas Gane's still early on, and I think cardio is one of those things that comes with experience.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, no, you're right there. And C says cardio probably Volkov, gone the distance more. Volkov, bit like Max, same output for all 5. Yeah, I mean, exactly. He's very good at managing it, and that does fall under the cardio category, really, is managing that output. And I guess, in a way... I mean,
if you look at the Volkov and Lewis fight, he was still, even in the 3rd round, he was still piecing him. It was just that Lewis caught him. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He might have dropped it down. But that fight, I have to remember, that fight was quite a while ago now. I'm showing my age with that one. Sure. But like you say, recently, he doesn't seem to change. I mean, like you say, he's not even huffing and puffing in the corner. He's getting his hair combed up and everything. He's chilling. So yeah, cardio Volkov.
All right, so that's 3 in favour of Ciryl Gane then, striking, power and speed, with Volkov getting the grappling and the cardio. But how do you see it going on the night?
It's a head versus heart one.
It really is,
because I think the storyline wise, you've got Gane and you've got talks of Tom Aspinall, you've got talks of the next title shot and this, that, and the other. But at the same time, I'm a sucker for an upset. And I'm a sucker for a dark horse in the division. So, if Volkov won, that would mix things up quite a lot. Obviously, you got to go with Gane in the way that you think, well, he's got more power. He's beaten before. There's always that, but then there's always that chance that Volkov has learned a lot and improved. So, to be on the safe side, you'll say Gane, but to be, to want a little bit of excitement, go Volkov. But I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of sit with the same sort of opinions as you, really, heading into this. I kind of want Gane to win because there's, other fights in the future that could line up very nice. Well,
Yeah.
if he does get the victory, but yeah, the upset of Volkov and the fact that it would be a smart pick to go with Volkov. With Gane, an easier pick, should I say? You go with Gane. If you're a betting man, of course, Volkov isn't a bad shout.
Yeah, is Volkov the underdog? I'm guessing.
You assume so. Yeah, plus 275.
So that's it's one of them. And also, I'd kind of want to see Gane win because eventually, soon, I do want to see Aspinall versus Gane. And I know a lot of people want to see that as well. I mean, I'm not saying about what we really want to see, but after that fight, then Aspinall and Gane would be the one to make.
It makes sense. And if Jones was to retire and they don't get a deal done in the end, is Aspinall versus Gane your
undisputed? Yeah. That's what I'd say. If Tom and John don't fight, the fight to make next is definitely Tom versus Gane for the undisputed title.
Yeah, because it doesn't sound like the UFC are interested in bringing Alex Pereira up to
not yet
heavyweight. Not yet.
But then again, as well, same thing. If Volkov wins and John and Tom don't fight, then it's an Aspinall Volkov rematch.
Yeah, I mean.
I mean, is it as exciting as Aspinall versus Gane? Probably not, because we've seen how it went last time. But I think that's that's maybe how they'll go with it. Do you know what I mean?
No,
but we want Tom versus John. We want Tom versus John.
Oh yeah. That's priority. C says, "Come on, Mr. Red, don't be silly. Gane round 1 finish. Gane sat at 3 out of 10. Volkov sat at roughly 3-1, bet 365. There you go. Woo-hoo.
There you go then.
Some solid odds. All right, okay. Let's blank this out at the moment. My prediction. I already said my prediction, really.
Yeah.
It's a decision either way, in my opinion. Co-main event. Here we go. Former friends turned foes between Shavkat Rakhmonov and Ian Machado. Garry, significant strikes in favour of Shavkat Rakhmonov at 61% there. Some 1% advantage for Ian Machado. Garry, very close on those numbers. Defense 100% for Shavkat Rakhmonov. No one's been able to get him down yet in the UFC. Octagon was a very interesting stat there. But we'll kick things off by talking about Shavkat Rakhmonov, who's been a bit out of action for nearly over a year now. A lot of people believed he was the rightful contender. Well, that's just Bilal Muhammad haters in a lot of way. But he's now fighting his former teammate. Now, when you picture the two sparring in the gym, do you see it being a one-sided affair? Or do you see it being quite competitive? Now, there is footage out there online of the two sparring. It's very back and forth, but that's only one clip, and we've got to presume that they've done quite a few rounds together, perhaps. But where do you see it? How do you picture it?
So I think with that clip, the most famous one is the Garry and Shavkat sparring. Was from Garry himself, and Garry did seem to be the aggressor. He did seem to be backing Shavkat up. He did seem to be landing more, and Shavkat was kind of on the defensive. But again, it was a clip. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was a little 5-second clip, a 10-second clip. And then it came out recently that Shavkat said that he actually tapped Garry in training, and Garry agreed. He admitted it. He said, yeah, he did. So there's that where you think, there's always that difference between sparring and war mode. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're not trying to kill you know what I mean? You're not trying to kill your opponent in training. You're sparring, you're training, you're learning little tips and tricks and that. But then when that cage door shuts, you're in war mode, and it's kill or be killed in there. So
it's whether or not they can actually do that, though. We've had having trained together and being aware of each other. Will they bring out that war mode? And in a way, if they are a little bit more respectful of each other and they don't go out there to completely kill each other, then does it favour Ian Machado Garry,
It
perhaps?
might do. It might do. I think with Garry as well is he's very good at landing from distance, and I think you could see that in the sparring footage. He was picking him. He was little, in and out, in and out, and he is what I call the what's it called? What's that for? Hopscotch kind of fighting because he's in and out, shaking about.
Yeah.
And whereas Shavkat is mostly dominant with grappling. I mean, his striking's like elite as well. He throws spinning shit all day. But for me, I think both of them know there's something on the line here. I'm surprised this wasn't an interim title fight. I must admit.
Same.
I really thought it was going to be, but the UFC don't really respect interim titles much. So whoever wins this is definitely, I'd say, getting a title shot. I mean, it was supposed to be Bilal versus Shavkat anyway, so Shavkat was already fighting for the title. So both are going to have a lot to prove in this one. And the best thing about this fight, and I love it, I absolutely love it. They're both undefeated.
Yeah.
Like both, someone's always got to go and all that. And this is these are the fights that I love because both of them have got something to prove. Both of them have got something to lose. Do you know what I mean? And I think recently, if you watch the footage, the interviews, I don't want to say Garry's kind of lost his confidence. He's still chatting, talking about wanting to go for double champ and fighting Hamzat and all that. But yeah, and but he does seem less cocky, confident. There seems to be something there where he's thinking, I might lose this. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas Shavkat's not really saying much. And I think that adds to his presence, his aura, if you want to call it that. That Shavkat doesn't talk much. And when he does, it's very few words because he's a scary guy. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I think this is a people's main event, as bad as that is to say. I genuinely think it is.
No, I'm with you on that for sure. I mean, C says, considering these guys are unbeaten, Rakhmonov is a heavy favourite. And yeah, I mean, rightly so. He's just been finishing absolutely everybody, 100% finish rate, right? Come with it. So
I mean,
rightly
that's
so.
real. When was the last time we saw that 18 fights, 18 finishes?
Yeah. Oh.
No, I mean, well, Tom Aspinall, but that's just me being biased again. But it rarely happens. Do you know what I'm saying? But Tom's not undefeated. Technically, he's not undefeated. Whereas Shavkat is, and that's a scary. I mean, he could be about to be 19 and all.
Yeah.
It's unreal, man.
Yeah, and as for go on.
I was just going to say, and I think the reason he may be a higher favourite is the grappling. Ian showed a lot of grappling against the MVP, but
He did.
MVP was piecing him up.
Yeah,
I think I'd say he won the second round on the feet. And MVP his grappling's not his strong suit at all. I mean, there was times in that fight I was shouting at my telly to try and just shake him off your back, man. Come on. What I mean? I mean, we even spoke about that when we met him in Manchester, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
I was like, why you do the shake? He's like, yeah, I know. But do you know what I mean? But yeah, with Shavkat, he's got the elite striking and the elite grappling, and his submissions are just something else.
He's got the squeeze, man. He's got that squeeze. Yeah. But for Machado Garry, then this opportunity's kind of landed at a fantastic time for him. Really, he said that no one in the top 6 of this division wanted to fight him originally, and that's why he settled with the Buckley fight, But by chance, he's now at a title eliminator. If Garry was to get the upset, though, how do you see it playing out for him?
Like I say, distance.
Yeah.
Distance, striking, in and out, quick, away from the fence. Don't get too close to the fence. He's training with Charles Oliveira. He's training with shootbox and all that. So he's improved his grappling. Like I say, we saw that in the MVP. It was definitely improved. I was surprised. Is it elite? No, not yet. Do you know what I'm saying? but I think he'll be working on his takedown defense. He'll be working on submission defenses. So if he does get caught in anything, he can try and get out of it. But he's got to use that speed, that fast twitch muscles, in, out, shake it all about, just land. Like you said, I mean, we said it, I think, about Mitchell, survive. Just survive. You know what I mean? A lot of people are going to call it running, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It probably will be one of those fights. You know, like when he fought, was it Neil?
Yeah, I think he's got to, though. You know, he's got to, because, you know, if he takes a moment... Oh, my light's just gone off. That's weird. Fuck? We got some bad, weird voodoo happening here. Or maybe it's because...
You got to pay the electric bill, man.
No, I flicked the switch on the wrong way. As I was saying, yeah, no, I think what he's got to do is, you know, he can't allow Shavkat to back him up towards the cage. And if he does, he's got to circle out of there, because that's where Shavkat is going to be at his best, right? Is when he's grabbing a hold of you, he's grinding you down against the cage, and then he's going to get his trips, or his, you know, from the body lock, etc. And it is going to look like that Garry is running away from him, but it's not. It's just he needs to control the center of the octagon as best he possible and keep the fight at distance and just keep chipping away at Rakhmonov. C says he is not as cocky because he respects the likes of Shavkat. Garry seems to preoccupied with Colby, a little concerned for Garry going into this weekend. I mean, see what you're saying there, mate.
Yeah. I mean, it's like that there was I don't know who was interviewing or who was with, but he talked about becoming double champ and fighting Hamza, and man. It's like
too early.
I mean, I just way too early to discuss that now. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, by all means, if you beat Shavkat, then your next opponent is Bilal. 100% that. Like, you know.
But by all means, if you beat Bilal, 100%, you shout for that.
Then talk about it. Yeah. Talk about it, but then again, I'm one of them that you know you need a few title defenses in your own division before you go up. Do you know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of interesting matchups for Garry in welterweight. I mean, you've got the Leon Edwards, their former teammates as well. You've got maybe who else is in the welterweight? I mean, you've got the winner of Colby and Buckley. Do you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, yeah. I mean, if Garry wins, he's 100% getting a title shot, and Dana will love that. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it'll bring the Irish crowd back. And but if Shavkat wins, he's getting the title. I mean, he had the title shot already. He'll just get another title shot. And I think even Garry said, even if he does, you know, lose, well, whichever way this fight goes, eventually those two are going to meet again. Yeah,
no, for sure. Yeah, I think you see it happening twice. Why not? Matt W says, to be fair, Yuri has 30 wins, 29 finishes, but also 5 losses. Shavkat will lose eventually, but not to Garry. Okay. C says, Shavkat aura turning off your light for even daring to think Garry is winning. Oh, thanks for that. That is true. There's some Shavkat voodoo happening along in the studio at the moment.
He sent the eagle, you know, with the eagle, he sent it over to mess about with your wires.
That's it. Chewing my wires down below. All right. Let's head into the gauge then for this co-main event. Kicking things off then. Striking, you've got the boxing style of Shavkat versus the, I'd say, kickboxing / karate style. What are you, Machado, Garry? I think Garry's got.
I think with striking, like, you know, it's one of them. Like you say, Garry's in and out, whereas Shavkat's got the spinning stuff. He's very unorthodox with his striking. He'll come out with stuff that you don't see coming, you know what I mean, or you weren't expecting, and he'll trick you into that. You know, he'll just throw the orthodox 1-2 to the body, and then all of a sudden he's spinning back, kicking you in the head. Do you know what I mean? Like, whereas with Garry, he's very, again, 1-1-2, land to the body, land to the head, come back, leg kick, oblique kick. So very similar but very different at the same time. But I think we're talking pure striking. Probably, I can't believe I'm saying this. Probably Garry.
Oh yeah. No, I
Quiet.
can see that.
Mm.
Yeah, I can see that. As for grappling, though,
Shavkat,
Shavkat. Yeah,
100%.
I can see that. Power. Would you go Shavkat for power as well? Because I can kind of see power for
I
Shavkat.
would go, yeah, yeah.
Um, and then speed for Garry.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys agree in the
Again,
chats?
no,
Getting as a here.
yeah. So speed, Garry. Um,
Down to card. Yeah.
Speed, Gary's striking. Grapple speed, Shavkat. Like when he like by
So
that I
yeah,
mean
quicker.
when he just wraps up when he wraps. I mean the way he did Neil, it was quick. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It was like an anaconda. As soon as he had the neck, it was over.
True.
And I think that's something that's really risky with Gary. If he gets, like you say, if he gets his back to the fence and Shavkat's on him, it could be finished very quickly.
Okay. Cardio though.
Cardio, I'm gonna probably go with Gary. I think he has got a good gas tank. I think we saw that in the MVP fight, and we saw it in who was the other one he went Neil. Was it Jeff Neal?
Yeah.
Decision with. So yeah, I mean Shavkat, we haven't. This is a 5-round fight as well, I believe.
I think it might be. I was been
Is it?
wondering that as well. I'm not sure.
Yeah, double check that.
I mean,
If it's a 5-round fight, then that's interesting because Shavkat's never been in. Well, neither have been in a 5-rounder, but
no.
Shavkat's never been distance.
Shavkat, yeah, that's true. And Shavkat went to war with Jeff Neal though, and it was a late stoppage.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, yeah.
Whereas Garry, is it a 5-rounder?
Yeah. And judging from the fantasy app has it as a 5-rounder.
Right. So that's going to be interesting because neither have seen a 4th round, and like I say, Gary's gone the distance. He's heard the final bell. Shavkat's never heard the final bell. So that's going to probably play a factor. And I think maybe that's another thing. Gary's going to do? He'll run, or keep the distance until the later rounds. Hope maybe by Shavkat's wore himself out, this and the other, survive and see what happens then. That's got to be part of the game plan.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And as you can see there, we got 3 in favour for Garry, striking, speed, and cardio. 2 for Shavkat Rakhmonov, grappling and power. Who are you going for on the night? I do kind of agree that, we could see an Ian Machado Garry decision that people aren't going to like. Or Shavkat's going to get the job done and submit him.
I feel,
and Garry
it's funny that we've gone 3-2 there. I feel like it's Shavkat sub round 3. I'm even going to call the round.
Wow, round 3.
I'm probably wrong there, way off. But I just feel it's because Shavkat has definitely got the grappling advantage. He's definitely got the submissions. I know I said training and fight night is 2 completely different things, but he's tapped him in training once that we know of. And Gary's not going to keep saying, oh, yeah, he kept tapping me. You know what I mean? He kept catching me in this and the other. So we've got that. And I just genuinely think we could be seeing a submission win before the championship round.
Yeah, I mean, Gary's still young. He's got some time to go as well. And he's still improving in the game. And perhaps a loss could do him wonders.
Well, this is it. You know what I mean? I'm a firm believer. A loss isn't a loss; it's a lesson. So it's this. I mean, it's nice to be undefeated, but I think the best fighters learn from their defeats and become better. Like I say, GSP, even fighters in we're getting philosophical with this. You know what I mean? Play the nice music, but a person with no losses or defeats in life has never really lived a life. So it might do him well, and I think he's kind of accepting that as well.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Which isn't a bad mentality to go into a fight with, because you never know.
Yeah, that's right. All right, okay, moving on then. I was getting quite late over here. Yeah, we've been enjoying ourselves. Yeah. Okay, we're now on to the main event between Alejandro Pantoja and Kai Asakura making his UFC debut. We'll start by talking about Asakura though, who, he's an unknown fighter to those who don't particularly watch Ryzen over in Japan. A title fight in his UFC debut, and he joins a list of fighters who have been in those shoes before as well. That list being Frank Trigg, Hayato Sakuraba. No, Sakurai. Sorry, Sakurai.
Yeah.
Wrong Saka. Joe Sato, Gilbert Melendez. So, it's a tough one, especially with where the UFC's at now. A lot of those fighters had title shots way back in the day. Way back.
Yeah.
But
I just remembered Matt Serra as well.
Sorry?
Matt Serra as well. I think he won the Ultimate Fighter, wasn't it? And
he won the... No, I think he was... Because that whole season was the comeback season. So he had his debut prior to that.
He was. Yeah, you're right. I'm wrong. Yeah, you're right.
But have you been able to catch Asakura's previous fights at all? And if so, what's kind of stood out to you?
So not live, obviously. It's hard enough when UFC, PFL, Cage Warriors. I can't be adding all of them in. But I watched a few back this week, and he's decent. He's actually really, really decent. And what stood out to me the most was his grappling's pretty good. I thought he was predominantly a striker, but his grappling is very impressive. The one thing that I hope he does remember is there's no soccer kicks and knees to the head and this and that. I mean, there is, but you got to watch how you do it. Do you know what I'm saying? But I was really impressed with the grappling and the anti-grappling and the takedown defense. And his striking's crisp. It's very crisp and very fluid and very, I want to say, kung fu-y. Do you know what I mean? I think there was a clip recently of him showing the crane kick, and it's. I mean, I know they were overplaying it. I know they were doing that. I think it was needing drama, but it was impressive. So no, I have never watched his fights live, but I've heard the name a few times. You know what I'm saying? So this is really interesting, and it really could shake up the flyweight division if he gets the win.
Oh, for sure. No, 100%. I quite liked his takedown defense for sure. I think the big factor coming into this fight is going to be the fact that he's going to be fighting in an octagon instead of a ring for once. I think it's going to be a big part of the takedown areas of this fight. But as for Pantoja, I'd say he's probably one of the most underlooked fighters on the roster. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, he's very underrated, and I don't want to say disrespected, but I mean, this is his third title defense, if I'm right. You know what I mean? And I think this is the thing that I don't understand. A lot of people really sleep on the flyweight division, and I think it's wrong to do that. I mean, we had Demetrius Johnson. He was the king of the flyweights for many, many years, but the flyweight division is still very interesting, and there's a lot of good talent in there. Do you know what I mean? And I think, I don't want to say he's being over. I think he is being overlooked. I do think he's being overlooked. I think they just want something fresh. They want something new. I've heard people call him boring, and I kind of don't. I do and I don't agree. I see what they're saying, but that war with Erceg was pretty impressive. You know, I was kind of one of the ones that said Erceg shouldn't have got a title shot, but with that performance, I can say, all right, you know what, that wasn't a bad fight at all, and wasn't a bad performance. So yeah, I'm interested in this fight, and I like Pantoja a lot. He has grew on me.
Yeah, I mean, he's beaten most of the top tier guys in the division.
Yeah,
and this is part of the reason why we're getting Asakura in. But do you feel that he should be defending his crown against Muhammad Mokaev instead this weekend? There's no disrespect to Asakura, of course. You know, he's getting a great opportunity. But if the UFC hadn't got rid of Mokaev, he was the only person in the rankings, perhaps, that would be looking at a title shot. What do you think?
I still, obviously, you know, I'm Manchester, Salford, Manchester. Mokaev's Manchester. We talk a lot. We're quite close. I'm still disappointed with how that went down. I do feel like Mokaev would have and should have had a title shot by now. And that you're absolutely right. Yeah, it should have been Mokaev. Because Mokaev, again, undefeated.
Yeah.
I mean, when you throw an undefeated fighter into the mix, it makes everything so much more interesting because either people want to see him continue the streak or people want to see him lose the out. Um, so yeah, it is disappointing, and I think that's why they've brought in some fresh blood. Because I couldn't really think of anybody else in the rankings that should have got a title shot because it's just going to be rematch after rematch, and we already had that with Moreno and Figueiredo. It was like 4 different fights between each other. So yeah, I agree with bringing fresh blood in, but I don't agree that they should ever have got rid of Mikhaev.
Do you think it was a lack of maturity on Mikhaev's end, the reason why they got rid of him?
Possibly. I mean, possibly. I mean, we've all been young and we've all done silly stuff. Do you know what I mean? And like Mikhaev is back at Brave now, and he's gonna do what he does there. I think eventually he comes back. I would like to eventually, hopefully, that him and Dana have a talk, and they bring him back into the fold. I really would like that.
Yeah, I think they're open to it for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, sticking on then with this fight then that we've got instead, Pantoja versus Asakura. I see C who says might be a hot take, but they need to scrap the flyweight division and merge with bantamweight. Pantoja literally batters everyone. Wow. I mean, I kind of got to disagree. I think bantamweight is stacked as it is, and to merge it with the flyweights, I think just disrupts a lot of things. I like the flyweight division.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, they were talking about scrapping. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about scrapping it for years. You know what I mean? When DJ left, and then there was Cejudo. I mean, the only reason I will admit, like, the only reason the flyweights are still going is because of Cejudo.
Yeah.
When he beat Dillashaw, I think if Dillashaw would have won, then that would have been the end of the flyweights.
Yeah, you could be right there for sure.
No, but no, I mean, flyweight, bantamweight stats, flyweight stats, and I think as well now with the road to the UFC, and we had UFC Macau. There was quite a few flyweights on there, so we're getting a nice little turnaround at the minute. I think with the flyweights, it could become a very, very interesting division eventually.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I think it is already, but it could get better.
No, I agree with you for sure. All right, in terms of the gauge then for this fight, judging off of what you've seen, of course. We'll try and get through this as quick as possible. Striking, where are you going with?
I might Asakura slightly.
Asakura strikely. Yeah, he's got an excellent, well-timed jumping knee.
Yeah, it's
last
beautiful.
2 wins.
I feel like, and he broke some guy's jaw as well. I think recently, in one of his last fights. So it's like, if he times that well when Pantoja's going down for the single or the double, it could be deadly.
Would you give him power as well?
Yeah. I think I will. Yeah,
it would be fair to say that grappling is
Pantoja.
Pretty obviously, it's going to be Pantoja, isn't it?
The grappling is nice. I do like what I see, slick. But it's slick. But with Pantoja, it's more heavy, and I feel like he's got that experience with the grappling more than Sakura has.
Yeah,
and Asakura's grappling is Japanese grappling, so you've got the knees to the head, you've got the soccer kicks. We can't do that. Yeah,
true.
Yeah.
Would you go speed with Pantoja? I gotta feel like speed belongs to Pantoja.
I can see where you do it. Yeah. But like I say, Asakura's striking is very fast as well.
Yeah, no, it's just true. It's true. Pantoja blitzes in moments, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And very quick at taking the back in transition.
Yeah, he picks the shots well, and like you say, the transition from striking to grappling is fluid.
Yeah, no, for sure. Cardio.
Probably Pantoja as well.
Yeah, edges it really, doesn't he?
Yeah.
No,
doesn't really seem to lose any steam in the later rounds, and by the 5th round, he's not breathing heavy. He's sweating like a. I nearly said a joke that gets kicked off, but he's he's sweating like mad, but he's definitely not out of steam. So yeah, cardio Pantoja for that one.
Okay, there we go. We've got grappling, speed, and cardio in favor of the champion, striking and power in favor for the challenger. But What's your prediction going to be?
It's one of them, innit? Like I said to you before, I love a good. Don't want to say upset, but I love a good when things get shaken up a little bit. You know, I'd be very interested to see what happens if Asakura wins. That will shake up the whole division. Breath of fresh air. Everyone's going to be talking about it for a good couple of weeks. You know, who's next? But again, then if Pantoja wins, he's added a third title defense. He's getting into that kind of, you know what? When it was the last flyweight to do this, it was. DJ. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he's on the level of DJ, but he's getting there. You know, if he wins this, then who's next? It begs that question: who's next?
Yeah, his body of work speaks for itself as well.
Exactly. He's already kind of cleared out the division. You know what I'm saying? Now, does he go for a bantamweight shot? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I can't pick with this one. I think to be honest, if you go your head, you're probably gonna go Pantoja. Because you think he's more experienced, like you say, in a cage, he's more experienced with MMA, he's more experienced grappling. So yeah, I would probably go with Pantoja, probably decision.
I reckon. Okay. I'm hoping to see a Pantoja submission personally in round 2.
That's actually that
would be my wish, but we'll see. Yeah, difficult prediction. All right, cool. That's a wrap then, guys. UFC 310 will happen this weekend. Make sure you have got the notifications bell rang on our channel. We'll be doing a live watch along as always for the last pay-per-view of 2024. So make sure you've got it on and you come and join the fights with us. We like to say don't watch alone, but watch along with a community of people, of course. And yeah, we'll talk about more of the fights during the chats, of course. And in our Fight Picks League, which will be wrapping up very soon, but it's not too late to join. The details are in the description. You can play along just for this event and see if you can perhaps outmatch myself or Red Wolf or Sai or Ash or any of the other guys against the fence. So yeah, make sure you can find it out there. All right, awesome stuff, guys. Smash like on the video if you've not done so already. Hit that subscribe button as well, and we'll see you this weekend. Much love. Ciao for now. Bye bye.